On Thanksgiving, surrounded by her extended family, my wife, the one who always took charge, slapped me across the face. Our son, Joe, clutching his tablet tightly, spoke 5 words that silenced the room and drained the color from her expression. The sound came first, not the hum of her relatives' chatter or the clink of cutlery. It was a sharp, distinct snap as her hand met my cheek. Laughter stopped abruptly. Forks hovered motionless. A gasp broke the air, but quiet consumed everything else. I didn't touch my burning cheek or recoil. My gaze held hers, unwavering. Her eyes were tiny points, her jaw locked tight. Still catching her breath, she whispered fiercely through gritted teeth, "Don't ever do that again." Her voice wavered as Joe stepped forward. At just 10 years old, gripping his tablet like a shield, he seemed far wiser than his age. His small steps reverberated, each one seizing the room's attention. He didn't look at me. His eyes stayed on her. In a voice too steady for a child, he delivered 5 words that turned the atmosphere icy. "I know he's not mine." The memory pulls me back 2 months, uninvited. I first noticed her secrecy in how she shielded her phone. She'd angle the screen away when I walked in. Texts were answered with a hurried furtiveness. Her laughter, once ours to share, now felt reserved for someone else. I told myself it was her new managerial role, endless meetings, demanding clients, late nights. Stress could account for it. But there were other clues. Her perfume lingered on her clothes after work, in a way it never had before. Her smiles at her phone were warmer, softer, than any she offered me. One night, at 2 a.m., I woke to the faint glow of her screen. She didn't see me watching as she scrolled. A man's name illuminated the display. Her thumb paused over a heart emoji before sending it. I stayed quiet, unsure what stung more, the suspicion of her betrayal or the deeper realization that I'd been replaced long before I noticed the signs. I started connecting the dots. Her calendar showed meetings that didn't exist, dinners that lasted far too long. Her emails, synced to the family laptop she assumed I'd never check, revealed pieces of the truth. She was careful, almost overly so, but I found evidence, flight confirmations, hotel receipts with no business purpose. Then there was Joe. Years ago, she'd teased that he looked so much like her family. I'd brushed it off with a laugh. Now, that comment haunted me, its innocence stripped away. I ordered a DNA test in secret, presenting it to Joe as a fun science experiment. He loved science and didn't question it. The wait for the results was agonizing, each day weighed down by her voice, bright and warm for someone else, not me. Every time she smiled at Joe, I wondered if she saw her secret mirrored in his features. The envelope arrived, its weight heavier than paper should feel. I opened it alone. The results were clear, undeniable. No biological connection. Joe wasn't mine. I read it 3 times, each time more deliberately, but my heart didn't pound. My breathing remained even. Something within me simply clicked into place, like a switch being flipped. That night, I left the paper on the kitchen counter. When she walked in, her eyes fell on it, and she froze. She didn't touch it, didn't blink. I asked, "When did it begin?" Her lips parted, but no sound came. Her face paled, her gaze flicking toward the stairs, toward Joe's room, before returning to me, a blend of fear and calculation in her eyes. I didn't push further. I turned away, leaving the paper there like a loaded weapon. Thanksgiving came, her family filling the house with lively chatter and the warmth of wine. She played her role perfectly, almost admirably, until she snapped at me over something minor, how I sliced the turkey of all things. Before I could reply, her hand struck my face. The room went silent. I said nothing, just held her gaze until she began to falter under its weight. Then Joe stepped forward, his voice cutting through the stillness. "I know he's not mine." The words shattered the moment like fragile glass. Conversations stopped mid-sentence. Her mother's jaw fell open. My wife's eyes darted to Joe, then to me, searching for an escape and finding none. I hadn't told him, but he wasn't oblivious. He'd seen her messages, overheard her late-night calls, noticed the envelope on the counter. She whispered his name, reaching out, but he stepped back, beyond her reach. In that moment, I didn't need to say anything. Her own actions had laid her bare. After dinner, I packed a bag, not hurriedly, not slowly, just methodically. Joe asked if he could come with me. I said, "We'll talk soon." He nodded, understanding more than a child his age should. She didn't try to stop me. Her family avoided my eyes, except her father, whose gaze carried the weight of something he wished he hadn't seen. Outside, the cool air felt like a purification. I walked to my car, started the engine, and drove away without a backward glance. Some truths burn everything they touch. Others freeze it in place. Hers did both. By the time I left her street behind, I felt nothing at all.